Om Sadashivasamārambhām
Om Sadashivasamarambhām
Shankaracharya-madhyamām
Acharya-madhyamām
Asmadacharya-paryantām
Asmadacharya-paryantām
Vande Guru-paraṁparām
Vande Guru-paraṁparām.
Om Bhadram karnebhih shrunuyama devāः
Om Bhadram karnebhih
शृणुयाम देवाः
Bhadram pashyemākṣabhiryajatráः
भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः
स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः
स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वा पुंसस्तनूभिः
व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः
व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः
स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः
स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः
स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः
स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः
स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः
स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः
स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु
स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
नायमात्मा
नायमात्मा
प्रवचनेन लभ्यः
प्रवचनेन लभ्यः
न मेधया न बहुना श्रुतेन
न मेधया न बहुना श्रुतेन
यमेव एष वृणुते तेन लभ्यः
यमेवैष वृणुते तेन लभ्यः
तस्यैष आत्मा विवृणुते तनुं स्वाम्
तस्यैष आत्मा विवृणुते तनुं
Swam means Swarupam. Yeah.
Swam.
So this was the verse we were looking at last week. So very important verse again. This Atma, who will gain this Atma? Nayam Atma pravachanena labhyaha. This Atma you won't get just by chanting Veda. So here pravachana is by learning to chant Veda or to chant the Veda itself. So there are so many people who can chant the Veda. As part of that, they also chant all the Upanishads. So even in South India itself, Taittiriya Upanishad is very popular. They chant Taittiriya Upanishad in all temple festivals, everywhere. So just because somebody knows to chant the Taittiriya Upanishad, and as part of that, they will be chanting Brahmanandavalli, Bhriguvalli. All these are like Vedantic teachings are there in these vallis, in these sections of Upanishads. But that doesn't mean they will gain this Atma. Now, what is gaining the Atma also we have to understand, because Atma is yourself, correct? The word gain itself is meaningless. We can talk about gaining something if you do not have it already. But in the case of Atma, what is it that we talk about as gaining? Now, it is something you are. And so the gain here is only in terms of knowledge. That is the important thing we have to understand. Because of ignorance, we don't know who we are. And so it's only a gain in terms of knowledge. Atma is already there as it is. Atma is already Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Atma is already Brahman. And it's only a only to remove ignorance and understand this fact. Because I am is already known to everybody. In fact, everyone in this world is a seeker of freedom only. They all are seeking freedom from many different things. Freedom from unhappiness, freedom from being limited in terms of time, space, in terms of the ability to enjoy. So like this, there are freedom from insecurities. All these things people are seeking. But the problem is, they don't understand that the seeker and the sought are one and the same. The very act of seeking makes them look for something which is not themselves. So when we seek freedom from insecurity, then that is expressing in their life as seeking securities. So how much ever security you may have, sometimes it only amplifies the fact that you are highly insecure, correct? If you have 100 people guarding you, in one way you can say that it is making you secure, but it only actually shows the amount of insecurity that you are having. So actually what we seek is a secure self, correct? Rather than seeking lot of security for yourself. So in all this seeking, what we are actually seeking is a free self, which is free from any wants, which is free from any limitations, a self which is always pleased. So actually we are seeking this, but even that we are not aware of. One is not aware of that properly. So the seeking becomes external. Actually, what one seeks is oneself. That self being free from all limitations. But that recognition is not there. Although there is an instinctual seeking for freedom, that is getting, how is it getting itself manifested? So that seeking is manifest as seeking for some things in this world. So it becomes worldly pursuit. But any amount of worldly pursuit is not going to make you free. You are still the same limited individual adding things to oneself. Okay. So only when you are able to get out of this worldly pursuit and understand the limitation of your worldly pursuits, then only your seeking itself becomes proper. If you are not seeking correctly, you are not going to find the solution also, correct? So if the problem is you, but you are seeking solution somewhere else, that's not going to help you. So if problem is myself, solution also has to be centered on myself. Because the actual problem is I am feeling insecure. I want freedom from insecurity. I don't really want security. I want freedom from insecurity. I want a free self. Similarly, I don't want all the different things. I want to be free from wants itself. I want a self which is not wanting. That is the real thing. That is what I actually want. So when one understands this, then one also has to understand that if I really want to be free from all wants, if I want to be free from all limitations, that cannot be achieved as the result of any action or any kind of accomplishment in this world. Once one comes to that understanding, then there is only one other option, is that I am already free. So either I am already free from all limitations and wants, or I can never become free from all limitations and wants, correct? So there is no question of I becoming free sometime later. Either I am already free or I can never become free. So that is the dilemma of a mumukshu, because the one who seeks freedom is mumukshu. So the mumukshu understands that either moksha is possible, means it is already there, or it is impossible. If it is not already there, moksha is impossible. For moksha to be possible, it has to be already there. But if already I am free, why am I like this? Why am I a samsari? So that is the paradox of a samsari. That means I have to know who I am properly. So that shift from seeking freedom, so the desire for Atma itself, so the desire for a free Atma, I have to say, correct? Because we are seeking freedom. The desire for a free Atma, or to gain or to become a free Atma, has to become a desire to know the free Atma. So a mumukshu has to become a jignasu. That is a very big shift. Because if you are a jignasu, then the whole nature of your problem and your solution is different, correct? If you are simply a mumukshu, thinking that you can even think that only this earthly life is a problem. So if I go to heaven, I will become free. So most of the theologies and religious people are all only thinking like that, correct? So for them, moksha is going somewhere. It is only tourism. That happens even in this world, correct? We are all thinking that wherever we are stressed due to work and all that, so I want to take vacation. But some people, they go on vacation and they are even more stressed while traveling and staying somewhere and all that. They go on a vacation and think I would have been better sitting happily in my home. So we don't know whether if you go to Swarga also you will be happy or not. Anyway, that's a different point. What we have to understand here is, this shift from being a mumukshu to jignasu is a very big thing. So the implication of that is, I am already free and the actual problem is only ignorance. And I have to get rid of this ignorance by gaining knowledge about myself. So I am is known to everybody, whether you are a jnani or an ajnani, whether you are a samsari or a mukta purusha, whether you are bound or free, for everybody, I am, the self is known. But I am Brahman is not known. That is the main problem. Shankara also says the same thing. I am Brahman is not known. I am already free. I am the limitless. That is not known. So that is where the problem is. And to gain this Atma, just the ability to chant the Veda or na medhaya, having a lot of memory is not enough. Even computers have more memory than human beings nowadays, I think. So, memory alone is not enough. Na bahuna shrutena. Also, having a lot of knowledge in different disciplines is not enough. Being a scholar of Vedanta also is not enough. In fact, you may be studying Vedanta for PhD. So, your goal is not moksha. If your goal is only PhD, you will only get PhD. Although you may have studied all the Vedanta texts, even with commentaries and sub-commentaries, it's not going to help you. You only become a scholar. So, then who gains this Atma? Or we have to say, who gains the knowledge of Atma is Yeshaha yam vrinute tena labhyaha. So Yeshaha here is the Jignasu. So it's not even just the Mumukshu. The Mumukshu has to become a Jignasu. That's why the Brahma Sutra also starts as Athato Brahma Jignasa. So once you have the right qualifications, then thereafter, and therefore thereafter, the desire to know Brahman. That is the first sutra, Brahma Sutra. So lot of analysis is done by Shankara in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Maybe sometime later we may study that also. So the idea is that if you want to gain knowledge, you have to prepare yourself. Knowledge means you require certain qualification. So like even today I was talking to people. So if you want to study some special subject, correct, then it may not be available where you are living also to know something. If you want to study quantum physics, let us say, you can't go to an elementary school. First, anyway, you have to go to elementary school to prepare yourself. But later on, you have to go to a university, correct? Somewhere where they are teaching quantum physics. Again, going there and sitting in that class also is not enough. But first they will see whether you are qualified to attend the class. So you should prepare yourself. So that is why for this Atma Jnana also, you have to prepare yourself. Qualifications are always necessary. So you prepare yourself. And what is that preparation? You have to be free from your Raga Dvesha first. And you have to have this. You have to be persistent in seeking moksha. See, this persistence is one thing I see which is lacking in many people, correct? So, these Vedanta classes I have been teaching for many years now. Around like 17 years now I have been teaching. So, every time what I see is whenever I start some class, whether online or offline, so we get lot of people. We get 40 people, 30 people, 20 people, they start. But even by the end of 1 year or like couple of years, so hardly like few people are left because everybody is not able to come for the classes for various reasons. For many it is genuine reason. It's not that maybe if they could have come, they would have come. But that is how. But that also shows the priority. That's what I am saying. Unless you are ready to pursue this moksha ahead of everything else, that is very important. So the Purushartha Nischaya is the most important thing. Everything else will follow. So if you desperately want moksha, if you think that I cannot be happy any other way, all other things are not really important for me. I am ready to give up everything and then come and study Vedanta. That kind of a commitment is really necessary. Then you are choosing to know this Atma. That's what Yeshaha Yam Atmanam. Here Yam is the object of gaining our knowledge, which is Atma. So the Mumukshu or the Jignasu has to choose to know this Atma. So when you choose to know this Atma means you are committing yourself to knowing. You are committing yourself to preparing yourself. You are committing yourself to gain all the qualifications. And finally, you are committing yourself to go and live with people who will be able to teach you, correct? You can't be wherever you are. Of course, nowadays you can still learn from wherever you are. That's not a problem. But still, you have to go and at least have a virtual satsanga, if not a real Gurukula Vasa. So one of the things in Vedanta is that I feel you have to study full time for at least some time. That is very important. Although initially it is good that you have the interest to attend classes from wherever you are, but at some point in time there is no substitute for studying as a Antevasi, as a residential student. That is very important. That again shows the commitment that everything else can wait, correct? If you are going after the limitless, then nothing else can really compare with that. So I don't have to say more than that. So that has to have all your priority. So Parama Purushartha, we say, Moksha is the Parama Purushartha, or at least it is the only Purushartha. It is the only thing which you really want. And this desire for Atma is not really a desire also. Understand that. It's not a desire like anything else. It is a desire for yourself, the free self. And it is already accomplished also. So the desire for Atma actually is a desire for knowing Atma, that's all. It's a desire for knowledge. And then once all these things are clear, then you can prepare yourself for this knowledge. And so that is the kind of thing which has to happen. You have to choose to know, you have to choose to prepare yourself for this knowledge, and then you have to go to a guru and undergo Shravana Manana Nidhyasanam. Then knowledge takes place. Knowledge always takes place when the right pramana is there, when the pramata is ready, the knower is ready, the means of knowledge is operating, means knowledge takes place. And also object here is not a problem, it is yourself. The object of knowledge also has to be there for knowledge to take place. In this case, the object of knowledge is yourself. So that is not going to go away anywhere. So when the right means of knowledge is operating and the knower is qualified and prepared, knowledge takes place. There is no doubt about that. That's what Tasyaisha Atma Vivrinate Tanum Swam. The Atma which you are seeking will reveal itself to you. It's actually a very simple thing. It is yourself. You are already the limitless. You are the consciousness who is lighting up everything. You are the invariable in every cognition. So actually it's a very simple thing to know. But since the knower and the known are one and the same, since the seeker and the sought is one and the same, it is like the greatest mystery. It is a secret, that's why, correct? So, even Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga, and all it is there in Shastra, in Bhagavad Gita. So, why is it hidden? Why is it a secret? The seeker, the very act of seeking denies yourself as the sought. That's why it's a difficult thing. Also, all the knowledge which we have gained till now is objective knowledge. We have only known things by objectifying it in our mind. But here, you don't have to objectify yourself. You are self-revealing. All that has to be done is to remove wrong notions about yourself. So you are the invariable in every cognition. You cannot objectify yourself and know yourself. But there is a tendency to do that. That is the problem, actually speaking. So that is why it is a subtle knowledge. Sukshmat Sukshma Taramanal, Upanishad also says. Atma is like that. It is smaller than the smallest and larger than the largest also. So that's what the Upanishad is trying to say here. Let us continue to the next verse. Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha.
Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha.
Nacha pramadat tapaso vapyalingat.
Nacha pramadat tapaso vapyalingat.
Etair upayaihi yatate yaha.
Etai rupayaihi yatate yaha.
Tu vidwan tasyaisha atma vishate brahmadama.
Tu vidwan tasyaisha atma vishate brahmadhamaha.
Dhamaha illa Dama. Brahmadama.
Brahmadhama.
So ayam atma na labhyaha again. This atma is not gained by whom? Balahinena, one who does not have strength, one who is weak. So even to gain this atma, you should have a certain accomplished ego, I think. Because the one who is not accomplished, one who is having a complex about oneself that one is small, that person cannot even fathom the idea that one is already the limitless. You have to accomplish something and see the limitations of your own accomplishments. That is very important. Then only you can see the limitations of all worldly accomplishments. So unless you are able to see that, you are not going to come out of your weakness for the worldly pursuits. So balahina here means, I would take it as your weakness to pursue your likes and dislikes. It's not just physical balahina also, correct? People are more weak mentally, correct, because of their attachments to various things. That is their weakness, in fact. Even in movies, the villain goes after somebody means they look for weakness, correct? What does this guy like? Go and attack that first. So something like that. So basically, this pursuit is not for the weak, both physically and mentally. You have to be strong. You have to understand that everything, whatever it is that I seek, is not really going to solve my fundamental problem. So, particularly as individuals, we are attached to other people also, correct? As human beings, we have emotional attachment with people. We require emotional security also. But even all that is only going to help you up to a point. So we have to have the strength to give up even all those attachments and pursue this Atma as the only thing. That is the kind of Vairagya. So that is why sannyasis are highly looked upon. Why? Because the very fact that they have taken sannyasa shows their commitment for this knowledge. So they are ready to give up all other pursuits. Whatever is legitimate for a householder becomes illegitimate for a sannyasi. they are ready to give up all roles also. So, a sannyasi is no more a father, mother, son, daughter, husband, wife, nothing. Sannyasi is not even a citizen. Technically speaking, sannyasis cannot hold any passport also. In olden days, sannyasis were the only people who can travel across kingdom, at least within the Indian subcontinent. They were roaming around freely. Nobody was stopping them. In fact, I think in Arthashastra, Kautilya says that one of the ways to send spies across your enemy land is to go as a sannyasi, correct? So even then they were using, even Ravana used the sannyasa vesha effectively in what is the first kidnap. That very fact has been misused also. But what I am saying is a sannyasi is not even a citizen. Sannyasi has no role. Means as the number of roles come down, your duty in terms of those roles are also not there, correct? So your life is very simplified. So then you can focus only on this, gaining this Atma Jnanam. So a sannyasi can only be a student or a teacher. These are the only two roles which are legitimate for a sannyasi. That's why the sannyasa you take again is called Vividisha sannyasa. Vividisha sannyasa means with the desire to know, you take sannyasa. Or sometimes Vidvat sannyasa also is there. Like Yajnavalkya wanted to go in Mundakopanishad, he wanted to go to the forest. He is already a jnani, but still he wanted a life which will be in keeping with his Brahmanishta, correct? So Vidvat sannyasa also one can take just to help oneself in Brahmanishta and be a teacher. So anyway, to be a sannyasi means it is strength. You require the strength to give up all the roles. Playing roles also is some sort of security. Understand that. So you have to give up all that. A weak person cannot do that. A beggar cannot say that I become a sannyasi. You don't have anything to give up to start with. How can you become then a sannyasi? There is no tyaga. And finally, the greatest strength has to be there to give up your own ego. That is the problem. So, yena tyajati tat tyaja, by which you are giving up all other things. That also you have to give up. Otherwise, I have given up becomes a problem. So, some people, they come back from US, okay, and they'll say, you know where I was? I was in US and I was such a big guy there, but now I have come here giving up all those things. So like that also people can talk. So giving up can boost your ego, and then that also becomes a problem. So giving up all these things means that shows your strength. A weak person cannot give up anything. A weak person is the one who is attached to everything. To give up means you require strength. You should have the strength to be by yourself. Finally, you are the self, correct? You are the self of everyone. To own that up, you cannot have any weakness. You have to feel strong even relatively. You have to be fearless relatively. Then only you can be absolutely fearless in this knowledge that you are everything. So strength is very important. Again, na pramada. Na pramada. Pramada means what? Indifference, not being alert, lazy. In fact, in Tamil, this word is used wrongly, because in Tamil many times people ask, how was the something? Okay, how did the function go? Ellam pramadam. People say pramadam. Pramadam there means everything was fantastic, enjoyable, like that. But actually it should be pramodam. In Sanskritam, pramodaha means it is all like it was fantastic, fine. I think that pramoda became pramada in Tamil. Actual pramada in Sanskrit means lazy, not being alert. So again, if you want Atma Jnana, you cannot be indifferent. You cannot be lazy. You have to be alert, because all of us have habitual tendencies. So those also have to be overcome. So you have to put in effort. So you can't be indifferent. You have to be persistent also. Okay, so you just come for classes for a few weeks means it's not enough. This has to go on and on till whatever, till you feel at home, correct? You have to feel that I know. You will know that actually, there is no doubt. So till the time you know and you are established in the knowledge, you have to keep continuing. The persistence is very important. So if persistence is not there, again, you can become a yoga brashta, like Bhagavan says in Gita. You started out, so most people are in fact arambha shuraha, correct? They start out very well. But then somewhere down the line they do not pursue it. Persistence is not there. Give up. No, that cannot be there. So pramada you cannot have. Again, na tapasaha vapi alinga. Okay, na api alinga. So without renunciation, you cannot gain this Atma. That's what. So alinga here means vairagya. Without vairagya, you cannot gain this. This pursuit of knowledge, tapasaha alinga. So the pursuit of knowledge without renunciation, without dispassion, without vairagya. So na tapasaha alinga. So tapas means here we have to take it as pursuit of knowledge. The effort you put in to know. But even that effort will be fruitless if it does not accompany, or if it is not accompanied by the proper vairagya. So vairagya only will give you Brahmanishta also. It's talked about a lot even by Shankara. So you have to keep on repeating your insights, because our tendency towards worldly pursuits are so strong, it will not go away that easily. We still think that we will get something out of this world, but that has to go away. So that's why that understanding that what I really want is myself, the limitless self, and all other things are only secondary or tertiary, or I am only doing all the other things for that purpose. That vairagya has to be there always. So that is a very important thing. Without that, the pursuit of knowledge also is not going to be fruitful. So that is what is very clearly said here by the Upanishad. So then who gains this again? So here again it says, so who is the one who is going to gain? Tu etaihi upayaihi yaha vidwan. So by these means, by these upaya, the vidwan here means the one who is viveki purushaha, one who is discriminative. So the one who is discriminative and one who takes effort with these means, okay, he is the only one who enters the Brahmadhama. Okay, Vishate Atma Brahmadhama. Okay, so this is the only person. So again here Dhama and all is only a figure of speech. This Atma itself is Brahman. And again entering also is only a figure of speech because it is yourself. You can't enter yourself. You are already yourself. So the one who makes effort and who is discriminative, and the effort also has to be by means already shown by this Upanishad, correct? And only such a person can gain this Atma. So again here the word Alinga is an interesting word, correct? The word generally Linga means some indication, okay, or a symbol. See, even the Shivalinga, why we say it is a Linga? Linga means it is an indication or a symbol for Shiva. Even in Nyaya, the term Linga is used for Ketu, or the reason for arriving at a particular conclusion. Okay, when you do inference, what is the Linga, they will ask. So even in Mimamsa we have Shad Linga. So six indications for you to arrive at a particular meaning, correct? Upakrama, Upasamharo, Abhyasa, Apurvata, Palam. So like that, there is a verse also. And there are 6 lingas for Tatparya, Nirnaya. So linga means a symbol or a form or an indication. Okay, and here the linga, why it is called linga is, for renunciation also there is a linga, correct? That is the Kashaya Vastra. So that is why here Alinga means without the indications of renunciation in you, you cannot have this pursuit of knowledge. So there has to be an indication that you have renounced. That is why here Tapasaha Alingat. Alingat here means the indication for what? The indication for renunciation. So this pursuit of Atma is taken seriously, that you have total commitment to that. Only, see, that is why there is even a rule. Even now, I think, for example, if you go to some places, even in Rishikesh and all, they won't teach you even Vedanta unless you take sannyasa. And there is a reason for that, I think. Of course, my Guru himself taught Vedanta in the public, but he himself used to say this, although we are all teaching in the public, that is only to make sure that people know that at least something worth pursuing is there. But if you are really committed, you have to come and learn. So that is why he also taught us as residential students, correct? He had a 3.5-year course where we can go and study with him, stay with him and study. So in modern days both are required. We have to talk in public so that people have at least awareness. and we have to teach long-term courses so that those who are totally committed, they have a way forward, correct? So both are important, but the idea here is, so Swamiji used to say, whoever has come for a full-time course, again that is a linga there, correct? It shows that they are committed to gain this knowledge and not do anything else. So like that, that linga is here is the indication of the commitment you have to gain this knowledge. That indication is very, very important. And so that is the thing here. And again the upaya also is used here. Upaya means various sadhanas, correct? And you have to have the right sadhana. Just effort also is not enough. You have to have your effort, and you have to put that effort using the right means. So right means along with the required effort is very important. So the word upaya also is very important here. So just effort is not enough, because that will then become like a asura tapas, correct? So asuras also you can see in all our Puranas. They put lot of effort. They do ghora tapas. That is only effort. Without the right attitude and means. So all these things are important. Your commitment for knowledge, the sadhana or the means which you use, and the effort, persistent effort you put. If all these things are there, then nobody can stop you from reaching your destination here, correct? This is the Param Dhama. Brahma Dhama means what here? Is yourself, knowing yourself as the limitless. Nobody can better that, correct? It is the ultimate. You are no more a wanting person. You don't require anything to be happy anymore. You are a Atma Ratihi, Atma Kridaha. You rejoice in yourself. So that is what is your destination. And it's not something like going to some loka. Here Brahma Dhama is not Brahma Loka. Here, even if we say Brahma Loka, all lokas are Brahman. That's what we have to understand. Right here also, it is Brahman. Whatever you desire, that also is Brahman. That is yourself. So you are the Sarvatma. That is what is talked about here. So this is something to be understood. These two verses are very important. It is coming up as a summarization, correct? It's the last section of Mundakopanishad. This whole Mundakopanishad itself is really beautiful. So many important verses are there. The last two verses, whatever we saw, they are really, really important verses. So let us continue here. Samprapya yenam.
Samprapya yenam.
Rishayo jnana triptaha.
Rishayo jnana triptaha.
Kritatmano vitaragaha.
Kritatmano vitaragaha.
Prashantaha.
Prashantaha.
Te sarvagam sarvataha.
Te sarvagam sarvataha.
Prapya dhiraha.
Prapya dhiraha.
Yuktatmanas sarvameva avishanti.
Yuktatmana sarvameva avishanti.
So, continuing here, so samprapya means what? Having gained. So till now the Shruti was talking about who will gain this Atma and what kind of effort is required, what kind of commitment is required. All those things were talked about. So having gained samprapya yenam rishayaha jnana triptaha. So the rishis, the rishati janati. In fact, the word rishi means jnani again. Okay, the one who knows, one who sees. So samprapya, having gained this atma and satisfied jnana triptaha, satisfied by this knowledge, and kritatmanaha, and one who is kritatma means what? One who is ready, you can say, one who is well resolved, one whose mind is ready and well resolved. Pakwaha, one who has gained a certain pakwa, you can say, correct? And vita ragaha, free from all ragadveshas. Prashantaha. Prashantaha means what? Naturally peaceful and cheerful. So that is what Shama. You have gained a certain resolution in mind that nothing is going to make you anxious, or your mind is not going to become some kind of emotionally unstable, let us say. Always naturally cheerful, peaceful. And sarvataha, sarvagam prapya. And always, sarvagam means all pervasive also. Gaining this all pervasiveness means again here all pervasive in terms of knowledge. So you are committed to this Brahman, correct? Ittatmanaha dhiraha sarvameva avishanti, it says. So this all pervasiveness we have to understand in terms of that you have the knowledge that you are everything. You are this Brahman which is everything. And you are Sarvatmaha. Sarvatma means what? You are the Atma of everybody. You are the one who gives existence and awareness to everything. So you then become everything. Avishanti Sarvam. So such wise persons, dhiraha, those who have this knowledge, and yuktatmanaha. Yuktatma means the ones who have a certain, see, there is no dichotomy in themselves. Okay, ones who are together, we say, correct? So you have a certain, there is no dichotomy in thought, action. Okay. So whatever they think they can do, whatever they do, they have thought about it. There is no dichotomy. Normal people have a certain dichotomy. One of the cribs is that I think one way but I do something else. That is a problem with oneself. You want to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, you are not able to get up. At 5 o'clock the alarm will go away, but you get up, shut down the alarm and continue sleeping. That is because the one who wanted to get up the previous night is somehow not the same person the next day morning, correct? The one who has shut off the alarm is a different person maybe. There is no integration. So that is what yuktatmanaha means here. Here actually in fact we have to take even more than having a mental and emotional integration. Here it is more like you are having Brahmanishta itself. You are committed to this being established in Brahman. Brahmanishta is called here Yuktatma. So for such a person, that person gains all pervasiveness in terms of becoming everything. You are the Sarvatma, you are everything. So here basically the Upanishad in this verse is showing you the result of jnana. So if you are a jnani, what is this Brahmanishta? That is what is beautifully said here. If you are a Brahmanishta, you are a Kritatma. So your mind is already rendered ready by all the sadhanas which you have done, correct? As a mumukshu and a jignasu, you have undertaken so many things. You have done tapas. You have done Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. You are taking effort to improve yourself in so many ways, to make yourself qualified. But here Kritatma is the one who has got all that already, one who has achieved through the sadhana, whatever is the sadhya. And such a person, how he is free from already all the raga dvesha. Because I don't look upon myself anymore as a wanting person. And they are also at peace with oneself. Prashantaha. So again, Prashanta here means that some people may even think that it is some kind of a samadhi and some kind of absence of thinking and all that. So again, even Shankara here gives the meaning that Prashantaha means one whose senses are all withdrawn. Even so, which is correct. So again, the senses themselves are not a problem. Your ability to use the senses has to be there without having a problem with your sense objects. So how a jnani responds to perceptual stimulus is different from how ajnanis do it. So sense organs itself is not a problem. That you have the mastery over your sensory stimuli is also. So none of the things, external things can really affect you. That's what this Prashantaha means really. Because you know that nothing can, everything else is mithya anyway. Nothing can really touch you or affect you in any real manner. So that is the Prashanta we are talking about. Nothing can really shake this person. The one who is naturally cheerful and peaceful, and one who is committed, yuktatmanaha, jnanatriptaha. So all these words are again talking about the jivan muktaha, the one who is attained this knowledge and how that life is, how that person is. So again, triptaha is again a very important word, jnana triptaha, because tripti is not something which comes easily, correct? Nobody wants to see the word for fire in Sanskrita is very interesting. One word is called analaha. Even in Tamil we say analadikardu and all that, correct? On a very hot day we say anal means what? Alam means enough in Sanskritam. Analaha means what? One who does not say enough. So fire is there, you pour more and more fuel, will it ever say enough? Fire never says enough. How much ever you pour into it, it wants to keep on burning everything. That's why fire is called analaha, anal. Similarly, how many ever desires we fulfill, samsari is like a analaha only. You keep on going after things, never coming to an end. That is the problem really, correct? So tripti never comes. That's why some people say this annadana is the best dana. Because whatever I give dhanam, people may not be happy. They will say this is not okay or I want more. You give 100 rupees, they will expect 1000 rupees dhanam. Or you give silver, they will expect gold. You give land, they will expect a house also in that, let us say. So whatever. Food means they have to say enough, correct? You can eat only so much. So Annadana is good because you can at least make that fellow say alam. Okay, enough, I am triptaha. I can eat only so much, I am happy now. So you can make somebody satisfied in food. So giving food as a dhanam is supposed to be good that way. It is special. Because you can make one person say I am tripti. I have aham triptaha, like that. But here jnana triptaha, one who is completely satisfied with oneself. Atma triptaha also. So one who is satisfied with oneself. Because our problem is one of self non-acceptance. Our fundamental problem is one of self non-acceptance. And to be able to accept oneself as it is. Right now you are Mukta Purusha. That is the Shastra. You are not going to become Brahman. You are not going to become Mukta Purusha. You are Mukta Purusha. And you have to be able to own up and be Triptaha, be satisfied. That is an important thing. So this verse beautifully describes a jnani. And such a jnani is a Sarvatma. He is or she is the Atma of everything, becomes everything in fact. Because everything else is Nitya. I am Satyam. I am the one who gives Satta Spurti to everything in this world. And that jnani is described here. We will continue next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam
Om Purnamadah
Namadah Purnamidam
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnameva Vasishyate
Purnameva Vasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Harihi Om Shri Bhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om.
Harihi Om.